Welcome back to part 2. In our last video we got our Unity engine set up and took a tour of the workspace. Today we're going to be bringing in the visuals. We're going to take a raw flat image containing our characters' poses, chop it up into usable puzzle pieces, and by the end of this video you'll know exactly how to manage 2D assets so they look crisp, clean, and ready for action. Let's jump in. Alright, a little bit about what you're going to be learning in this video. We're going to learn how to properly organize our project folders, import 2D art assets, how to configure our pixels per unit, filter modes, and compressions sizes for crisp 2D graphics, and how to slice sprite sheets using the Sprite Editor. Before we just throw our files into our project, we need to talk about professionalism. In this course, we need to identify and demonstrate positive work behaviors and personal qualities needed to be employable. In a game studio, that starts with file organization. Right-click in your project window, press Create, and go to Folder, and we're going to name this one Art. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to grab some files from some assets from the Unity Asset Store. What we're going to do is we're going to go up to Window, we're going to go to Package Management, and then Asset Store. That will bring up the Unity Asset Store. From here, you'll need to sign in if you're not signed in, and you'll be able to browse assets. The assets we're going to use for this come from Sartzy, I think the name was, for 2D, and let's see here, we're gonna go with all the free ones. And where is it? Saudi Art is the person, so if you find something that's by Saudi Art, just click on the name and you'll go to their page. And the ones we're going, if you sort by low to high, you get all the free ones on top. And what we're going to use are Crystal World Platformer. We're also going to use Rocky World Platformer, Pixel Fantasy Caves, and Platformer Fantasy Set 1. So Platformer Fantasy Set 1, Crystal World Platformer, Rocky World Platformer, and Pixel Fantasy Caves are what we're going to use. So we'll click on Pixel Fantasy Caves for now. And mine says Open Unity. Yours is going to say Add to My Assets, and you're just going to click on that one. So if I click Open Unity, I'm going to say yes, go ahead. But once you add all of those into your My Assets, you're going to go to Unity. You're going to go to Window, Package Management, Package Manager, and we're just going to download those into import those into our projects. So you're going to click Download, and then Import to Project, and then you can select Import, and it'll put them all in there. And then I'm going to go find those other ones, which for some reason are not showing up. So let's come back over here again. Let's see. There's Crystal World. And that one already did. Import. At the end of this video, I will include a little bit about installing from your computer, because I'm going to end up putting these in the shared drive, and that way you guys can import them from there if you want and download them to your computers. But I'm sure that Saudi Art would appreciate you going this route to get them more downloads and increase their presence on the Unity Asset Store. So do that. If you struggle with that part, then I'll include a bit about importing from the computer after downloading from the Google Drive. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and close this. Alright, and you're gonna see that we have all our stuff right there. Click on one, hold shift, and then click on the last one in that row, and we're gonna drag it over here to into the art folder. And then real quick, just because it's easier for me, I'm gonna move my project manager or project window over here. That way it's then I don't have to switch between consoles. If there's the console and the project, if there's errors, I can keep the project here and still see it, and I still have some good real estate in my game. Alright, if you are downloading it to your computer from the Google Drive, you're going to end up with this zip folder that says Platformer Assets. What you're going to do is you're going to right click, you're going to go to Extract All. If your machine is running Windows 10 like mine, if you're running Windows 11, if you click on it up here in the center bar area that pops up, it'll say Extract All, and you can do it that way. So right click, Extract All. I'm just gonna navigate to just keep it in my downloads folder and press select folder, and I'm gonna choose extract. Alright, you're gonna see that all of them extracted just fine over here, but I'm just gonna make this file explorer window just a tad bit smaller. I'm going to just click on one, hold shift, click on the last one, and I'm gonna just drag them over here into this art folder, and then you're gonna see that Unity imports them just like normal, just like we did with the other one, and we have everything that we need in there. Alright, now that we have everything imported, we're gonna configure some assets. We're gonna start with our character sprite sheet. So in this art folder, in the sprite section of Rocky World, there's a Geno character. We're gonna open that up and we're gonna drag out this idle, run, and jump. Right now, if we zoom out, we can see that it's really tiny. When we go to the game view, we can see how small it actually is. So if we look over in the inspector with the main asset in the project folder selected, we can see some things that we need to adjust here. We're going to tweak three things. We're going to tweak the pixels per unit first, which tells Unity how many pixels make up one grid square in a game world. For our specific art pack, we're going to go with 32. So go ahead and change this number from 100 to 32. We're also going to adjust our filter mode, and so what happens is Unity tries to smooth out the images by default, but it often makes them look a bit blurry. So if we change this from bilinear, let's zoom in here so you can see this change. So you can see there's a lot of blur, and the anti-aliasing is real in this one. So let's go to filter mode, bilinear, point. Now with both of those adjusted, we press apply, and not only does it increase the size of our sprites, but you can see that they're a lot crisper, a lot cleaner. There's not all that blurry and fuzziness around the edges. Right now, Unity thinks this whole sheet is just one giant picture. We need to tell it otherwise. So at the top of the inspector, we're going to come over here to sprite mode. We're going to change this to multiple. Then we're going to press apply. Right now, it's going to disappear because we haven't told it what the sprites look like yet. So let's get to the fun part. We're going to slice sprite sheets for use in a 2D scene. Click on Sprite Editor. A new window is going to then pop up for our art, just like this. What we're going to do is going to go to slice. We can go to automatic, grid by cell size, grid by cell count, isometric grid. I haven't really messed with it, so we're not going to get into that in this. Maybe in another video. But for now, let's go ahead and leave it on automatic and just slice and look at what it does. So it does a fairly decent job, and we can press apply and we can go to it, and you can see that it actually slices them up. If we look, and then now we can take our idle 0, drag it in, and let's go ahead and zoom in, and then there's our character there. Another way of doing this is by determining the cell count by looking here at your dimensions of the image. So we know here, if we look at it, that 64 is the size up and height. We know that it's 1536 pixels wide, so you can actually do some math here. And if we go to and we do 1536 divided by 64, we know that there's going to be 24 frames for animation. You could also just count it out like that. But what we're going to end up doing actually is come up here. We're going to go by cell size, and we're going to go to 64 by 64. Your padding should be evenly at 0. We can slice it that way, and that works as well. If you go by cell count, then it's going to tell you how many rows do you want, right? Or columns do you want? And we're going to want 24 columns, 1 row, and you can do it that way as well. So the calculator math is for grid by cell count. If you already know the space that is drawn in this case is 64 by 64 grid, you can do it by cell size as well, just like we did here. So either way works. Go ahead and press apply. That's going to change things up a little bit, but there he is. We can delete that old one, and now this is going to work for animation. Either way, being able to verify it is just as simple as just like we did, clicking on this little sprite sheet here, clicking on the arrow, and each one of these should be an individual sheet now. So that's slicing. You guys are going to need to know that later and be able to do that later on. But if you click on that folder, you can see that they're already sliced up for us, which is nice. So you can actually just go into the folder that you're going to use it at and select all of the ones that's in there that you're going to use. We're going to go and type in 32 because we know that that's what we want. We can go to point right there. It's already set to single because these are divided into single sprites, and we're going to press apply, and then we have it right there also. So that works too. So now if I take this idle 01 and drag it in and I just move it, you can see it's the exact same size and everything. So that's the nice thing about using some of the assets on Unity is some people go through all the work, but you guys will have a project where you're going to have to be able to create your own, and so you're going to be able to have to slice them yourselves as well. So great job today. Make sure that you save your project. In the next video, we're going to drag our character, one of these characters, into the scene and add some physics so they can actually fall with gravity, and I will see you then. Keep learning, keep building. See you in the next video.